Welcome to day 14 of our free online sewing class. If you are just seeing this video, check my YouTube channel for day 1 to day 13. That is the foundation. Yesterday we spoke about ruffles. Today we'll learn about pleats and gather in detail. There are different type of pleats, but I'll just teach two. The first one, we call it knife pleat. Now I'll show you two different ways to achieve a knife pleat. When you have your material, you mark it. Here I'm using 2 inches, but it depends on how big you want your pleats to be. It depends on how big you want the pleats to be. Let's just use this as the example. Then you can now determine if this is the size you want or you want a bigger size. So I'll mark 2 inches until I get to the end of the material, 2 inches interval until I get to the end of the material. Then once I'm done with that, I will show you how to fold. Remember, this particular pleat, we call it knife pleat. Okay, I'm done marking. Now let me teach you how to fold. You can fold it to the right or to the left. It doesn't matter. It depends on how you want to fold it, where you want your pleats to face. So you pick the first point and make it touch the second point. The third will touch the fourth. The fifth will touch the sixth. I hope you understand. Just watch as I will fold and it will touch the other. Now this type of pleat is not very uniform. The space in between them is 2 inches, but the folding is like 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So if you don't really have a long material or you don't want your pleats to be too full, you can do it like this. So you just space it equally. It's not compulsory you use 2 inches. You can use 1 inch, you can use 3 inches, you can use 4 inches. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I just marked 2 inches and I will fold it like this. Now the purpose of marking it as a beginner, it will make your work neat, uniform. Your pleat will be so uniform. If you decide not to mark it and you just want to pleat, your pleat will not be uniform. But if you mark it like this, it will make sense. So you can use your needle to hold it first. The way I folded it, you hold it with your needle, then you bring it to your sewing machine, or you take it to your ironing table first. The way you mark, you iron it. Everything would slip, then you will sew it. So I didn't iron, I didn't pin, I already mark it, so I'll just make sure the points are touching each other and I will sew. So this type of pleat, we call it a knife pleat. I will show you another more smaller type of knife pleat. Just stay with me. All right, so this is what I have. Because I marked it, if you look at the pleats, they are uniform, very, very uniform. Okay, this is another type of knife pleat, but it is smaller. So I'll mark 2 inches first. I'll mark 1 inch. I'll mark 2 inches again. I'll mark 1 inch. So if you are using, you can use 1.5 inch, 3 inches. Just make sure that the smaller one is like half of what will be the bigger one. Like here I'm using 2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch. So you can use 1.5 inch, 3 inches, 1.5 inch, 3 inches. You can use 2 inches, 4 inch, 2 inches, 4 inch. You just make sure that it is equal like that and you mark it. This type of this particular one is smaller than the first one, and this one uses more material than the first one. So if you have enough material, this is a uniform pleat. All you have to do is to fold. So I'll take it to my machine. With the 1 inch, I'll place it on the 2 inches. I hope you understand this folding. I didn't take my time to show you well. Let's continue. Let's see. You see, to the next one, that is I marked 1 inch, then after I marked 2 inches. So the 1 inch, I will fold it to come and meet the last 2 inches. I hope you understand. Ouch. That is 1 inch to the 2 inches. I will fold it inside. So the first point of the 1 inch will go and touch the last point of the 2 inches. That's the 1 inch. It will touch the 2 inches. Did you see it? So this is another type of knife pleat. This is more smaller, and it produces a more uniform kind of knife pleat, but it uses more material. So after sewing, the next thing is I'll take it to my ironing table and I will press it. Like I always say, and I have emphasized before now, ironing is something you cannot run away from. All right, so I'll go iron and I'll show you what I have, and I'll show you the different lengths. I use the same length of material to achieve the 2 type of pleats, but the second type, which is the one I marked 1 inch 2 inches, 1 inch 2 inches, that one gave me a more uniform kind of pleat, and but it came out smaller. But this one that I marked equal 2 inches 2 inches 2 inches 2 inches till I get to the end gave me the pleats are not they are bigger. It has a bigger pleat, and it gave me a longer pleat. So if you don't have more material, you can do this type of pleat. If you have more material, you want it full, you want your pleats to full, then you can do the other type of pleat. But I can assure you, if you learn how to pleat like this, your pleat will always come out beautiful. In fact, nobody will believe that you are a learner or a beginner. The more uniform pleat gave me 8.75 inches, while the larger one, this long one, this one gave me 12.5 inches. Even though I used the same length, I used 24 inches length of material to achieve this pleat. All right, let me show you another type of pleat. I'll just talk about, there are different type of pleats, but I'll just teach you two. This one is called inverted box pleat. It has another name, they call it another funny name, they call it kissing pleat. All right, so I marked 1 inch 4 inches, 1 inch 4 inches. If you want your pleats bigger, if you don't want the 1 inch, you can do 2 inches to 8 inches, 2 inches to 8 inches. But by the time you become an expert in sewing, this calculation you might work on it. But just for it to be easy, this one you do times 4. So like I marked 1 inch 4 inches, you can do 2 inches to 8 inches. You understand? So for this type of pleat, I'll pick the first mark. Okay, before I pick the first mark, between that 4 inches, I will mark half of it, which is 2. That is where I'm using that marker to mark. So I will fold the first chalk, that 1 inch. I'll fold it. It will touch this half that I marked, this middle of the 4 inch. Then from these 4 inches, I will touch that point, and it will give me more like a box split, but this one is inverted, as if the two pleats are touching each other, are kissing each other. That's why we call it kissing pleats. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine. But if another way to make it easy for you, you can take it to your ironing table and iron before sewing, and you can also pin it. When you pin, it's easier. So just watch as I will do the sewing now. So after ironing, this is what the inverted bust plate looks like. Did you see it? This is what the inverted bust pleats look like. All right, so this is just the two type of pleats. They are very simple. The simple that I will be sure that we'll be learning in this video. Next, let's go to gathering. I'll teach you easy way to gather, and I'll give you some gathering tips that will make your gathering look so beautiful and professional. There are several ways to gather. You can gather with your sewing machine or with your hand. And with a sewing machine, there is a special foot that you can use to gather. But today, we are not using any special foot. We are just using our normal foot. So you pick your fabric and you adjust your stitch. You use a long stitch. You will not back tack. You just take your fabric and you start sewing. You will not use a back stitch. That means you should know what I mean by back stitch now, or back tacking. So just put your fabric on your sewing machine and you sew with just a straight stitch till you get to the end like this. Don't back tack, just cut your thread. Now you can do this singular stitch, but I will advise that you do 2 rows or even 3, because one can cut. So after, I will go back again and sew the second time. I'll sew it. I'm not back tacking. I'll just start sewing straight like that till I get to the end. Now let me tell you one thing you can do. Again, you see your sewing thread, you can dip it inside your machine oil, then so that it will be easy to pull. So once you dip it inside the oil, pass it on your machine and just use it to sew the way I just did. Now you pick, it has 1 thread up and 1 thread down. So you pick either one, either the up or the down for the first line. Then also the same thing for the second stitch row. You pick either one, if you are picking up, pick up for both. So I'm trying to locate that. I'll pick it. You see, I will now hold the 2 thread. The 2 upper thread, I will hold it. I will start pulling my fabric. You see, this type of gathering technique is one of the best. It makes your work look more like a ready to wear kind of work, a ready-made. It makes it so neat and so nice. You just have to be patient. You have to drag it gently so that the thread will not cut. And that is the reason why we did the stitch. We used 2 rows. If you use one, it can be frustrating when it cuts. It can be very, very frustrating. But this is one of the ways to do a beautiful gathering. Now, if you get somewhere and it gets stuck, you can leave this side and go to the other hand. You can go to the other hand and start pulling on the other hand until you get a very beautiful gathering effect. So I just want to pick from this other hand, and I'll just pull and gather it. All right, this is what it looks like. So let me teach you how to use your hand to do the gathering. You just pick your needle and thread. You pass your needle through you pass your thread through the needle. You fold it into 2 so that you have 4. You fold your thread into 2. You pass it through your needle so that you have 4 thread. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Then you tie it once it gets to the length you want. Then you now pass it through your fabric like a running stitch. You use a running stitch or a basting stitch, whichever one. Just pass it through the fabric. You go in out, in, out, in, out, until you get to the end. And that is another easy way to gather. All right, this is the two. I'm trying to compare the two. And then, so this is easy way to gather your fabric. Easy way to gather your fabric. And the knowledge of this gathering and pleats, we are going to use it to sew something like this. We are sewing this and this particular one also in our next project. All right, thank you so much for staying with me. I'll see you in our next class.